REaltor.com had a headline last week, and it said, as much of the country swelters under a heat dome, the housing market is experiencing its own meltdown. And it does feel like a meltdown when it comes to the information coming out about real estate these days. There are buyers markets in part of the country and sellers markets in others. There are fewer buyers and fewer homes for sale, yet we see higher interest rates and higher home prices. How does that happen? Well, we are about to break down what the latest real estate data means for buyers and sellers in this month's market report. For the past few months, mortgage rates have been stuck in a very unfriendly margin, hovering around 7%. And it seems almost as soon as rates go down that they're ratcheted back up. Mortgage rates have been increasing dramatically since back in March of 2022, when the Fed decided they were going to start raising interest rates to tame inflation. But by almost all reports, our economy is doing well. This Wall Street Journal article came out on Friday, and it shows that the GDP for the US grew at an annual rate last quarter of 2.4%. So where is this tightening working? Do we expect to see car prices come down? I mean, when was the last time that's happened? And are we going to start paying fast food workers less? We just voted to increase the hourly minimum wage, which has driven my Taco Bell meal deal over $12. I digress. So this is what Jerome Powell had to say about housing at this past week's meeting.
Mr. Chairman, Mark Hamrick with Bankrate. You've talked in the past about getting the housing market back into better balance, excuse me, and also that the market might have bottomed. Where do you see that situation and balance, or lack thereof, right now, particularly with the constrained inventory of existing homes that might otherwise be coming onto market at a time when existing homeowners are reluctant to move? And of course, all of that happening with the 30-year fixed rate mortgage still around 7% on the heels of Fed tightening, and with what you're talking about, tightening industry lending standards. Are we getting closer to balance or farther away? What's your sense?
I think we've got a ways to go to get back to balance, really for the reasons that you talked about. With existing homes, there are many people who have low-rate mortgages, and whereas they might want to sell in a normal situation, they're not going to because they have so much value in their mortgage, which means that supply of existing homes is really, really tight, which is keeping prices up. On the other hand, there's a lot of supply coming online now, and there are people coming in. A lot of the buyers are first-time buyers coming in at buying it, with these relatively elevated mortgage rates. But I think this will take some time to work through. Hopefully more supply comes online, and we work through it. We're still living through the aftermath of the pandemic.
During that meeting, the Fed raised interest rates again, and we saw the 30-year fixed rate close last Friday at 7.05%. So the latest hike suggests that mortgage rates will likely remain high until the Fed's streak of raising rates ends, and hopefully that'll be sometime by the end of this year. I will keep an eye on this and will keep you updated with any changes. One key takeaway from Jerome's speech was his comment on the increase of supply. Now, unless he's talking about the supply of apartments, he's misspoke. Inventory is struggling along, and as we can see here, nationally, our active inventory is 8% below where we were last year and 50% below where we were this time in 2019. This is the main reason sellers have the upper hand and why prices won't budge. Now, the media has been talking lately about year-over-year median home price declines. And median just means that lower priced homes are selling, not that prices are actually coming down. And here's a quick graphic to describe that. If you sell a widget for 5 cents and 2 widgets for 10 cents, then the median price of a widget is 10 cents. Next month, you sell 2 widgets for 5 cents and 1 widget for 10 cents. Now the median price of a widget is 5 cents. The 5-cent widget is still worth 5 cents. And the 10-cent widget is still worth 10 cents. The prices do not change at all. In fact, in housing, even though we're talking median prices, prices have actually risen. But after 6 consecutive weeks of declining year-over-year prices, the gap between median home prices shrank to 0% last week, and that means that we are currently sitting with a median list price equal to the peak of 2022. But where are all the homes? Nationally, new listings entering the market were down last week by 18% compared with a year ago, marking a 55-week downward streak. And the Mortgage Bankers Association put out a chart reflecting their predictions, and it shows you in yellow that the inventory currently sitting around 4.2 million homes on the market, that is expected to climb but slowly. They believe that by the end of 2023, we will have 4.3 million homes on the market, and that by the end of 2024, we'll have 4.8 million homes on the market, and by the end of 2025, they expect us to have 5 million homes on the market. That's still 1 million homes shy of where we were when we started the year 2022, which was a low inventory year. They also predict nationally that prices will go up 7% this year, up another 1% next year, and 3.9% in 2025. And mirroring that, Zillow came out with a report this week that predicts that we should see homes in our area increase in value 8% over the next 12 months. But what are we seeing right now? With fewer homes on the market at high prices, with a side of high mortgage rates, some homes grow stale. We've also discussed this in the past. Just because you have a home for sale does not mean it's going to sell. Condition is everything in this market, and buyers are willing to pay for it. But if the home does not have the right curb appeal, the right finishes, and freshness, they are choosing to wait it out for something better. So finally, let's look at how Vero Beach is stacking up to the rest of the country. Our average day on market is not falling. We still sit around 80 days for Vero Beach, which is kind of our typical sales absorption at this time of year. Right now, we have very few quality homes for sale, so the time it takes to sell them is longer. Just take a look at this chart. While the median price in our area is $438,000, the average home is selling at $700,000, and that is slowing sales down. This is a tough price point for our buyers to be in. And this chart, this shows how low our inventory is. And until we see this chart reverse and inventory come back on the market and come on dramatically, the market will continue to see prices remain where they are. If you have questions about your home's value, or if you're looking to buy a home in Vero and you're having a hard time, give me a call. I'd love to discuss your options with you. I'm Tripp Hernandez with Dale Sorensen Real Estate. Thanks for watching and have a great week.